If you clicked on this video, then chances are you're tired of your 9-to-5 full-time analytics job, and you're at least curious about starting in the analytics consulting space. The truth is, you can make a whole lot more money consulting than you can working a full-time job. With a full-time job, you have security and even benefits, but in the consulting space, your earning potential is magnitudes higher. There's just one problem though. You might be asking yourself, well, how do I break into the analytics consulting space? You're going to be facing a massive hurdle because going from 0 to 1 is so much harder than going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on and so forth. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 proven strategies that I've used to land new consulting clients. You can also use these same strategies to land your first client. Upwork is a marketplace. It's a marketplace where freelancers can connect with companies or even individuals who are looking to get specific projects done. Now, Upwork is not solely focused on analytics or data science, but there is a huge amount of opportunity out on this website. I have even personally picked up a client on Upwork, which has led to multiple client engagements with that one client. Even earlier this year, I was on the flip side where I was hiring someone who was an analytics expert to help me execute on a project. I've recently hit a point where I have more work than I can feasibly get to, so I actually looked to Upwork to help me scale out my analytics consulting agency. Now, let's talk about the pros and the cons of Upwork. Upwork has a ton of people on the website. This means that there are a ton of opportunities, but this also means that there is a ton of competition. And I would say that there are more people looking for work on there than people actively posting. So this means that the competition is a little bit cutthroat, and you need to make an effort to stand out apart from all of the other people competing for work on that website. The next strategy that I would recommend is public speaking. Now, I know for a lot of you who are watching, that might sound extremely intimidating, and that's totally understandable. But I think that there are some kind of easy or low bars that you can hop over to kind of break into this space. For example, I was the Tableau user group leader in Greensboro, North Carolina for about 2 years, and this helped me expand my network out. Now, I didn't meet a client directly at one of the user group meetups, but I did meet people who did refer me client work. One step up from running a local user group might be to start running seminars on your area of expertise. A couple years ago, I actually ran a Tableau 101 series at my local co-working space. And it turns out that one of the people who came to my lectures was the CFO of a rather large waste disposal company here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, that CFO didn't actually come to the seminar with hiring me in mind. In fact, he thought he was going to learn Tableau and implement it within his own organization. Now, his job is very demanding, and he just didn't have the time or the resources to dedicate to actually implementing Tableau for his organization. It took him about 2 weeks to realize this, but he did in fact realize that and reached out to me so that I could kind of act as an advisor and also focus on very specific projects that were a little bit more complex. I've been consulting with this client for about 1.5 to 2 years now, and we've got 3 or 4 rather large projects underneath our belt. So I would say public speaking is a great tool to help you bring opportunity into your world. Another way of looking at public speaking is it's like power networking. If you're up in front of an audience, you are de facto the expert in the room. You're leading that room. Instead of going to a networking event and shaking hands with people individually, you're speaking one time, and that's getting broadcasted to 30, 40, or even maybe 100 people. That's extremely powerful. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of public speaking. The pros, like I just mentioned, is that it is powered networking. The cons, though, are it's a bit risky. You do run the risk of completely botching your presentation and kind of ruining your credibility, at least in that moment. And it might also cause you some anxiety. So keep that in mind, especially if you want to execute on that specific strategy. I saved the most potent strategy for last, and that is referrals from your network. Just think about it. If you've been in the analytics industry for any time at all, you've probably racked up some wins. You can tie back those wins to a pretty influential person, whether it's your manager if you were a junior analyst, or if it's a middle manager if you're a senior analyst, or maybe even the CEO of an organization. These are the people who can bring you opportunities. You've built up a lot of goodwill for those contacts because you've made their lives easier, either by increasing their overall sales, by uncovering insights, or on the flip side, maybe helping them cut costs. You can cash in on this goodwill by letting them know that you are now consulting. So if they run across any type of opportunity, they can refer that person to you. And this is exactly what's happened within my life. About 3 years ago, I got hooked up with a fractional CXO. And this is where things began to explode. This CXO is a fractional C-suite executive. So this means that he goes from organization to organization, and they hire him on a very temporary basis to turn their company around. This person was a gold mine in terms of growing my own personal network, because he has people reaching out to him on a very regular basis who are looking for help for their organization. This has led to the most opportunity in terms of analytics consulting as opposed to any other strategy that I've implemented. And even to this day, I'm still working with this CXO, although now one of his clients has actually hired him to be the full-time president of their company. I've been working on a 10-month engagement with them, and things have been going fantastic. So I would say the number one strategy for you to break into the analytics consulting space is to, in a non-cheesy or abrasive way, to start to mine your network for opportunities. I like to call this concept relationship equity. You've built up some relationships within your industry, and it's not too forward or over the top for you to let them know what's going on in your life. If you've done a good job for them over the years, they'd be more than happy to help you out in any way that they can. The first step is just to even let them know what you're up to. That wraps up my 3 main ways of finding new analytics consulting clients. I would love for you to leave a comment and let's start some type of conversation around how are you planning on landing your first client. I would love to help you out any way that I can. This is also a new format for my YouTube channel, so let me know if you like the way that this was edited and kind of scripted. Usually I just kind of rattle things off the cuff, but I think that this might be a little bit more of an effective way to communicate on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you want new notifications about each time we post content on analytics. We post at least once a week, so I would love to see you guys in my subscriber feed, and I'll see you guys next time.